waves cycling in and out, day by day, year by year. And trees dropping leaves, they leave behind seasons, flowers spreading seeds. They pass the torch burning to the next generation, feeding life, and the animals run and they die, giving life back to the plants again. Cycles they breathe through death and rebirth, ever about in pain and in mirth. And tragedy lives, but the beauty will too, so the joys they outweigh the bad. Sun flying high, you burn the sky, turning the world around, and all the clouds pouring, opening for the stars with the moon who pulls the waves cycling in and out, day by day, year by year. And trees dropping leaves, they leave behind seasons, flowers spreading seeds. They pass the torch burning to the next generation, feeding life, and the animals run and they die, giving life back to the plants again. Cycles they breathe through death and rebirth, ever about in pain and in mirth. And tragedy lives, but the beauty will too, so the joys they outweigh the bad. So take some time, zoom out and see that life isn't just us, you and me.
Seldom do we think of you, though no one should neglect. Pine, cedar, oak, and yew, our attention we should direct. For through the years you whine and wither, upon you creatures crawl and dither, but forever humankind should hither and bow to the true kings of the forest.
The sun has set, the moon will rise, plainly seen through its disguise. Dark shall consume, rest is day's cue. What's this to do with you? A star's above, below is ground. Space is all but making a sound. Rainstone fire, steam to and through. What's this to do with you? Our life is by nature's design. I'm starting anew. Our life is by nature's design. Our life is by nature's design. Like oceans move, we do too. Back and forth, push and pull kind of style, as volcanoes roar and waves that bloom. What's this to do with you? A new day begins, the sun almost spins, no new opportunities just grow and grow. Sun rises up, a perfect picture of true. What's this to do with you? Our life is by nature's design.
If I could capture a moment, like a child would capture a firefly in a rose-colored mason jar, blinking as a star that has come down from the heavens, I would gift it to you and call it spring. A new day begins with the sun bursting in energy as she reflects her happiness on the silver stream below new opportunities. Ride the valleys, flicking the dewdrops, scattering the melted snow. The burning star rises up, a perfect picture for an ideal day. Why shouldn't I call it spring? A burst of vibrant green cascades across the woods, falling asleep to the white-tipped evergreens and waking up to the buds of blooming flowers ready to grow into a bouquet that I will pick at leisure and gift to you with the name of spring. Nature's design creates the rhythm of the seasons. Each one has its pathway.
The summer beats away at the skin of a drum. It's a clapping sound, the sound of someone cheering you on. So you march and stomp and make every primal sound you have to offer and create a symphony of you. The fall creates a hum, a whisper in the wind. The leaves develop a new tempo with every new fall of the next leaf. The growl of cars rushing home to their loved ones and the crunch of the world beneath your bootstraps add to the collage of fall. Winter is the rest that every musical entity requires. The moment of hesitation before the climax of the piece. The orchestra conducts, and the tempo quickens with every snowfall. Vivaldi created such a nervous symphony for a reason. There is no sound in the winter, just anticipation to create a new tune. Springtime is a whistle, the big ballad in every soundtrack we play on repeat. The birds commit to a melody, the bugs accompany with a stinging and a buzzing. And the silence is filled. It's the retake of a bow and the breath before a piccolo phrase. Spring begins the new song cycle of your world. Nature's design is a powerful thing, filled with song and rapture. The river flows with a much faster pace, and the babbling brook rambles and flows. When the budding zinnias and roses dollop my path, I know I've witnessed a rebirth of the sidewalks near my home. And evidently, a rebirth of our world. What's this to do with you?
If I can't capture the firefly as a testament to springtime, I'd like to take a walk with you, through the birch trees, past a squirrel that scurries past the edge of the horizon. And as the seasons slip by, and we change the way the world will, we will remember that we have always had springtime.
I woke up and it was snowing, and I felt like I was young. White light shone off of the moon that night, and I knew this would be sung. When I saw the snow come down, something lifted off my heart. Smiles rose in my front round that night, and the world was truly art. I woke up and it was snowing, and I didn't feel so old. I saw the pureness of its light that night, and I knew that I would fold. So I woke and went outside, and I lay down in the snow. My arms were splayed out to the side that night, and I looked up and I cried, 'cause I knew I was alive. I knew beauty while it's pain, and I thought of what I had in life. Through my tears broke a grin. I woke up and it was snowing, and I felt like I was young. Light had shone off of the world that night, and I knew it would go on. I woke up and it was snowing, and I felt like I was me. Light had shone down from the stars that night, and I knew I was free. I woke up and it was snowing, and I felt like I was me. Light had shone down from the stars that night, and I knew I was free.
Methinks I saw a butterfly, with antennae twitching upon the sun, The purple air caught my tentative eye. At once my heart was filled, we had just begun. My gaze could not hinder nor torn away. It's soaring in the air, a kind whisper calling my affections to dance and say, might I find you at the mighty river? Love's lust can come across as an obsession, for when I pressed against his darling head, a grape, the head under thumb's oppression, all my love left the butterfly for dead. The outstretched wings are pinned upon my wall. I'll mourn until I hear the newest call.
Ecstasy comes underneath. Whoa, 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 whoa. My heart's been burning up. I think I've had enough. My eyes wanna open wide and see. My brain's on make believe. Whoa, whoa, my fears are shutting out, and oh, I want to scream and shout. I can't keep going on like this, but it's too good to miss. Whoa, 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 ecstasy, ecstasy. I hardly feel it in me. Ecstasy, ecstasy. When I do, I can finally breathe. Ecstasy, ecstasy. My world keeps on crashing down, and oh, no one is around. An overwhelming tidal wave of stress, but it's all for the best. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wipe the slate, clean your brain, hide away, full escape. Wipe the slate, clean your brain, hide away, full escape. Sometimes it all disappears. Die, you won't shed a tear. I'm surrounded by all the love and care I need. I'm planting a newfound seed. Whoa, 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 ecstasy, ecstasy. Now I can feel it in me. Ecstasy. Ecstasy. Now I can finally breathe. Ecstasy.
Can anyone ever really know a flame for all it flickers? Every moment growing and changing, giving and taking, yet somehow still itself remaining? I feel I cannot learn everything of a glowing flame purely by its heat, or merely by close proximity, else that I may burn to ash in some blaze of glory, some fit of fired passion. Nor do I think that to simply learn the science or logic or reason behind who or what or why the flame is would lead me to such knowledge, since in the opposite way I feel that would separate it from me in a way I could not bear to think about. I think it more possible to know its light, or its warmth, maybe. But is that truly to know it either? To really find intimacy with its existence? Perhaps the only way to truly know something is to be near to its presence in every moment possible, fully present, growing in awareness and familiarity with it, all the while hoping to glean every tidbit, every morsel of truth from beyond the surface as can be possible. Maybe the only way to truly know something is to be with it, until you are both so closely linked that you are entangled with one another, and that there is no way you could possibly not know them, or them you. In which case, how can we find such love? How can I find you, and you me? How can we know? How can two flames bear to one another without burning out themselves or their lover, without running out of air?
Shake the scold and shriek in rage, for the time has come, revenge we wage. How long must we endure this pain? Into the forest we shroud and drink again. Few stand between, yet I can tell it's cautious and keen, but prophesized you fell. You may use your words, it is all you've got. To the side I'll sit, but I'll rise when you drop. Baneful words, sparks that soar, spoken and somatic, clash across the floor. It's all against one, so the deed that must be done. An apology, or you are no more. You've all been the same, for ages it seems. You pit fire against fire, and let it steam. Your loyalty is shown when your conscience is thrown. There are two sides to this game. Who's next to play? Lies thick as blood, drown faster than your mead. Fate strung through your words, yet warnings you do not heed. Through this we share a bond of grief. You may do as you like with your needless greed. Peace so she brings, yet innocent not. We all pay our due when each battle is lost. Your strongest arrives, and your lesson learned not. How can we be gods when like petty humans we fought?
How can I be kneeling here when I am a sin wrapped amongst a sin in a temple that is hollow? Hello. I've been told to crawl on my knees against the sheets, making out hearkened words until I meet the feet of our Savior. But the sheets trap me so tight, and they bind me like reluctant angel wings on an altar of imperfection. All this time the crowd mocks and leers and casts stones wrapped in scathing, scolding words till I'm tossed in the ocean. But when I'm in the ocean, and I struggle for my breath 3 times before calling out, I'm not meant to be here. The silence is drowned and the cup has been drunk. Words are written upon me that are not my own. A saint, not a sinner, the book will turn me into if I am beat hard enough with it. So why fight?
To live I must eat life of the land, the love and pain, these will form my bread and butter. I'm sorry, I just can't restrain the hunger anymore. The hunger, they will fall before me, they will raise me up, but someday I'll fall to another, fall to dust and feed the soil of the mother, the soil
I've always wondered if the Christian God was happy about the tragedies of the world, or if he was even aware. Is heaven a gated community where there are plenty of rooms but no windows down to the world? Does the singing of an angel choir drown out the crying of a child who lost their mother, or a mother who lost her child? I've wondered if the gods feel every heartbeat. Do they all mix into one? Does Mother Nature weep when one tree is cut down? Does Poseidon lament every bit of plastic that stops the breath of his marine creations? Does Pluto ever get crowded by all the souls shuffled into the underworld like a waiting room with no doctor to be found? Can one life matter to them? Can it? If thousands die in one day, plant and animal, can the gods afford to weep for each one? Or have all their tears dried for us? Have they looked at the state of our world and cried out for all of humanity before we can doom ourselves? Do they wonder why we are stuck on repeat? Do we ignore the way that they shouted us for not learning from our mistakes again and again and again? They can't afford to cry for us. Not at the state of our world. The dead keep growing, the wind keeps blowing, and we carry on. Doomed to repeat our cycle. Doomed to repeat our cycle. And doomed to harden ourselves to our own fate. Or do they welcome us, thanking us for playing life's game and choosing to try again? I wonder what that feeling is. Is death a celebration that the suffering have won? Will we be greeted like long-lost friends? Is it sympathetic? Is it an apology? Or maybe they cannot afford to show up, because when we decide to play the game of life again, they'll have to watch us lose it all over again. I suppose only the dead will really know. And so until I know for certain, I weep for every loss I see and find myself afraid of meeting the same bitter end tomorrow. But sometimes, when I step on an ant in fear, I wonder what I'm so afraid of. It can't hurt me. It can't even speak the same language. But I wonder if he was calling for his own God for help, and if that whisper went unheard by a God who can no longer afford to weep for another loss.
One must be wary of the mushrooms, with their rounded caps and wild diverse blooms, as they are the harbingers of rot, and give life to those who are taught. The magical, mystical ways of spores, and how they open and shut life's stores. From life to death, creation and collapse, there is no other being that is more strange perhaps. For when we perish and go down below, the fungi and friends surely know that our bodies and flesh will provide to give them life once we died. So be wary but respect the mushrooms and their fungal sect, for we will become part of their lore and feed them forevermore.
Take a breath, first in, then out. Push and pull. Ebb and ow. Give and take. Come and go. Now, rinse and repeat. Do it again, and just keep moving. The world continues to turn. The simple truth of the matter is that life is a constant exchange of energy. No matter how mysterious it may be in its ways and workings, that will always be true. My tiny piece of a much larger story. Someday I will return to myself what I'd lost. But right now, I need to continue learning everything I can. To just keep moving. Take a breath, first out, then in. Push and pull. Ebb and ow. Give and take. Come and go. Now do it again. It's time to get back to work. I knew deep in my soul that if the love of my life could be torn from this world, then she could be brought back. It was my turn to make an exchange, and it's a hell of a time to have nothing left to lose.
I used to run away from the thunder, but now I dance in the rain. This train of lightning, this sound, its loud roars fuel the rhythm for my feet to tap with electricity, a guide as I twirl through my memories. Just like dust to dust, I return to water. The rain's gentle patter was quiet, dynamic compared to thunder's. As a child, it felt a bore to watch the silver droplets fall and race against the window pane. The thunder became the bass drum, the steady beat to keep me in line, and yet so wild. But now the two are hardly distinguishable. I went from grunts and stomps in the kitchen, from clasping my tiny hands above my head, from spinning until I was dizzy and smiling as my parents cheered me on, to moving with the wind and letting my feelings and emotions take flight. I once swung from the swings of a playground. Now I soar above the canopy. The tension that used to be and the fears held inside of me let go with a roar and left me wanting more. Release feels so beautiful. The sun shining down is full of this brand new me. My hair done in pigtails, one pulled by my mother's touch as I ran to the playground. Now I long for the feeling as I pass driving by and away from the memories of a child on the swings. If I could try again, I would have sought release sooner rather than later. I never asked for this passion breaking through, so thank you to the one who set me free, my fire and my light bursting through what you've given me. The bird in the cage can't be erased, but the bars have melted down, and I'm the one who's saved by the strength and the will to grow. I used to try, and now I can succeed. Who would have thought my search led me to a rebirth? You're just the same, the future of the flame. I see you're just the same, the future of the flame. I see that you've got it too. You've helped me. And so I'll help you. The world will turn on. Write your own song.
Flying high, you burn the sky, turning the world around, and all the clouds pouring, opening for the stars with the moon who pulls the waves, cycling in and out, day by day, year by year, and trees dropping leaves, they leave behind seasons, flowers spreading seeds, they pass the torch burning to the next generation, feeding life, and the animals run and they die, giving life back to the plants again. Cycles they breathe through death and rebirth, ever about in pain and in mirth, and tragedy lives, but the beauty will too, so the joys they outweigh the bad. Sun flying high, you burn the sky, turning the world around, and all the clouds pouring, opening for the stars with the moon who pulls the waves, cycling in and out, day by day, year by year, and trees dropping leaves, they leave behind seasons, flowers spreading seeds, they pass the torch